Yes, actually a big national security focus for Malcolm Turnbull here in London. His first stop is Scotland Yard for briefings with the police and intelligence officials there. As you say, he'll meet Theresa May at Downing Street and he'll visit Borough Market, scene of the latest terror attack here in London. 8 killed there, including those 2 young Australian women. So an important moment for Malcolm Turnbull while he's here in London. I think with the meeting with his British counterpart, look, both obviously share political difficulties right now with their domestic situations, but both, when it comes to this national security and counter-terrorism issue, are battling similar challenges with homegrown terrorism, the prospect of returning foreign fighters from Syria and Iraq. So both will want to share strategies, look at what's working, perhaps what's not working as well. Both have also been taking a fairly combined position through the G20 process in arguing for greater action online to try and stamp out these unlawful places, as Malcolm Turnbull puts it, where terrorists, other violent criminals in fact, can use encrypted message services like WhatsApp or iPhone Messenger to send their messages, to plot what they're plotting, and that's beyond the reach of law enforcement. So both have been working in lockstep on that measure, and no doubt we'll want to talk about the next steps in terms of being able to crack open those encrypted messages for police agencies around the world.
And David, Mr Turnbull, of course, comes fresh from the G20 summit. What was the wash-up of the summit for us in Australia? How do you rate Malcolm Turnbull's performance on the world stage thus far?
I think Malcolm Turnbull's performance, you'd have to say, was pretty good. He managed to secure, we now know, an important carve-out for Australia from Donald Trump ahead of any tariffs the president's about to impose on steel imports, particularly targeting China. So that's a win, shows that Turnbull and Trump do get on. He can manage to extract a good deal for Australia when necessary, and that confounds some criticism that the two of them have a big problem in their relationship. I think Turnbull did pretty well too on that online terrorism issue I mentioned. That was his main issue he wanted to drive and got the outcome he wanted. But Turnbull and Trump were unable to steer the G20 towards what they should have been able to do, and that is a combined position on North Korea. China, Russia vetoed that, and this shows that the world is divided on what to do here, and that leaves a big question mark over whether anything is going to be done to try and rein in the rogue state. Similarly on climate change, big divisions on show. I think that's more isolating and damaging for Donald Trump than it is for Malcolm Turnbull. By and large, I think the Australian Prime Minister's had a pretty good summit so far, an international trip so far.